Welcome to another episode of The Finish Out. I'm your host, Jeannie Harvey, lead creative designer for FS Builder Resources. We're coming to you live today from the beautiful state of Colorado. I am here with the leadership team of the Colorado Floor Company. I am so glad that you guys took time out of your very busy schedules to spend with me today. Kind of tell us a little bit more about CFC, how you got your start. So let's go to Laura and Stephanie, kind of fill us in on the history for educating both me and our viewers at home.
Sure. So the Colorado Floor Company was started by our dad, and he was Lawrence Griffith. He went by Larry, and in the late 60s, he was a carpet installer. And when he went to learn to be a carpet installer, there was already an old guy named Larry there, so he became Griff. So the industry knew him as Griff for years, and in 1988, he started the Colorado Floor Company. And after, in the late 60s, he was a carpet installer, had installation crews going out of our parents' single-car garage, where my mom was absolutely supportive of all of his goals, and all of this was born from his hard work and his dedication to it, and from our mom's support of all of it, and so that's where we sit today.
Very, very, very cool. What about you, Stephanie? What do you remember from the early days?
This business has been a part of our lives, our entire lives. And I remember how our dad really and truly tried to teach all of us, or the two of us, work ethic, what it meant to work and provide for your family.
Right.
And I remember growing up surrounded by this industry and what the interest that it brought to me and my life in the creative views that I felt like I could develop possibly in this industry. And I started working for my dad when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
And that was before Colorado Floor Company was started, so we won't say what year that was. But and so I worked for him and felt a connection with that in this industry with him for all of my life.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So starting with you, Brandon, like, how did you come about into the family business?
Well, yeah, the family business, Steph and I got married when I was in college. And as any starving college student would need, he knew I needed something to do in the summers, to make some money, for the next year. And being as busy as they were at the time, he knew that I liked working with my hands. I had, had conversations with him before about how I grew up with a construction background because my dad and my uncles were always in construction. So I was around it constantly. I worked as a laborer a few times when I was really young. So I had that background, and he's like, well, hey, we're really, really busy. My brother, Ed, who worked for the company as well, needs a lot of help with hardwood. Why don't you go lay hardwood with them? I said, okay, I like working with my hands. So I did that for 2 summers. We had our first child. I graduated. I have a finance degree from Boulder, and I did that with a stock brokerage firm in Boulder for a year until they went out of business. So rather than being shipped off to another firm and cold calling, I decided that I really liked to work with my hands. Those 2 summers meant something to me, and I enjoyed it, and it was satisfying a lot more than wearing a suit and picking up the phone. So
Right.
I came to that firm and I said, listen, this is not for me. I'm going to go do this other thing. And I think that was the first time I really realized that what is talked about a lot today with the trades, it hit me as a real thing. I was more successful and supported my family a lot better than a lot of my friends did wearing suits, using my hands, being in the trades.
Right.
It has served me unbelievably well my entire life. We put our girls through college, and so I started installing whatever I could until he decided to put me with our best tile guy. And so I learned from what at the time was probably our best guy. He was amazing. He mentored me, and I set tile for the next 20 years.
That's incredible. So not only being part of the leadership team here, but both of you, Kevin, you included, you both have done the labor side. Talk a little bit about how you got your start here.
Well, 1996, I'm working for a carpet manufacturer, and I get transferred to Denver. Like in June or July, and I don't know anybody in the town. So I show up to Colorado Floor to set up a display, and it took all day to set up. So all day long, I'm setting up this display, and I'm talking to the receptionist, who happens to be Stephanie. And we're just talking back and forth, and all of a sudden she just comes up and she says, you need to, go on a blind date with my sister. And I'm thinking, okay. And she's kind of pressing it. And if you knew Steffi, you'd know that she was going to press this stuff. So
And she's ringing my phone off of the hook, telling me, you need to come see this guy. And I'm like, leave me alone.
I tried to get her to take the lunch and just come to the office.
I wouldn't do it.
So she keeps pressing it. And so finally I'm like, okay, like, what's the story? And she's like, well, she's just really cute and she's still in college. So you have to, and then I'm like, what's wrong with her? It's like, why is she not dating
Literally said
anybody?
that.
He literally asked me that question.
So long story short, I finally said, okay, fine. Why not? Because I didn't know anybody and why not? So,
And she's calling me, and I finally said, fine, just stop
Yes.
calling me. Yeah.
so then I drive to go pick her, go on a blind date set up by somebody I don't know at her parents' house because she's still in college and it was summertime. So I kind of walk in and meet the mom and I'm nervous and all this stuff. And we go outside and there's Griff sitting having a cigar and a martini. And I look at him, I'm like, Griff, I had no idea this was your daughter. And he looks, you look nervous, Kevin. You could use a beer. I'm like, yeah, I kind of could, So, long story short, that's how I got into the business. And it was fun because he had asked me, I was still sales rep for the first couple of years of our marriage and we had just started having kids. And he'd asked me, he said, we're starting to grow. We could use somebody else. And I'm thinking, sure, this is great. And he literally said, well, Brandon knows hardwood and Brandon knows tile. So I need you to go install carpet. So literally off comes the suit and tie. And off comes 35 pounds because you just work hard.
Right.
And so for the next 3 years, I'm installing carpet. And I'll never forget when he finally brought me in and said, hey, I think we're good now. I need you to come on in. And he said, you're never going to need to take care of your family. You've got a trade. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm never picking up a carpet knife again. Like, that's done. I need to get my suit back on. And those words rung true because literally a couple of years later, the Great Recession hits. And we are struggling to get through it. And Brandon is installing tile all day long. Uncle Ed is doing all the hardwood. And then I have to start installing carpet. And so in 2009, 10, 11, we're all trying to figure out a way to do it.
Right.
And it was because we have the trades. It's because Griff insisted on it. And Colorado Floor is based on our installers' strength. And we know what they're doing. We know when they have a bad day that we need to make it up to them with a better job moving on. It's just something, Brandon, that, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the strength is we can communicate and understand where the installers are coming from.
100%.
And if we don't have the installers, we can't grow. And if we don't please them and make it so that they're as smooth as they can, they're not going to bring their cousin into the fold for us to grow. So
Correct.
long story short, but that's how I kind of got into the business.
Well, and it's so important for any company, from the FSBR side all the way down through you guys, that the people in leadership have done the quote unquote grunt work. They've sold the material, they've installed the material. So it brings a different aspect to the company that these people, they've done it. They've done it and they've become incredibly successful because you've done the work and you know how the backside's going to be.
Yep.
And you take that into account. So it'll also play into your labor side. I know that you guys have tremendous relationships with all of your labor here. And that speaks volumes to you having done the work and you relating to them as well.
We have several installers that have worked for us for years and years and years that are now on the inside. They're either getting older, so they want to come out of, get off their knees or whatever and get to work. And they're some of our best employees because they understand what it takes to get the job done.
Right, right.
Well, and I will say from our perspective, I think that both of us could sit down and talk about an install.
Yeah.
Our dad taught us, I remember being with him as he kicked carpet in. I remember being with him as he grouted tile. And as he floated walls when he did his own drywall patch and work. And
A lot of that.
and so not only do our husbands keep us informed on the install part of everything, but our dad, that was the foundation that our dad really gave us.
Right. And now you're continuing on that legacy, that 40-year plus legacy. That's just incredible for you. Now, I know you've all raised children over these last 20 years as well. So speak a little bit about who from your families have also come into the business and what their roles are here.
We have 4 daughters, and our second daughter she works for us, and she's phenomenal. She
really is.
I'm very proud of her.
Well, she gets it though. If you're family, you're going to need to be. You need to be much better. Right?
Correct.
You need to work harder. It's not like, oh, you're
Correct.
in and this nepotism thing takes off. It's
Yeah, the
no. It's
just
the pressure's
coasting.
on. You need to prove that you're worth here.
Well, and I think that it concerned her in the beginning
Yeah.
because she grew up this way too and saw how hard not only our dad worked, but also how hard we work and how many hours it takes and what the commitment takes and everything. And I think that made her nervous because she didn't want to disappoint anybody, but it is a natural thing for her.
Well, and beyond that, she came to us, or me specifically, and said, listen, I'll only entertain this if you can guarantee me that this isn't a handout, that this isn't something I'm getting an opportunity to talk about with my aunt
Yeah.
just
She works
because I'm your
directly with you.
daughter. And I
Yeah.
said, well, first of all, no. But the only way I can prove that to you is for you to have the interview with your aunt. And Mom and I are going to stay out of it. We're not going to talk about what you get paid. We're not talking about your performance. We're not going to talk about anything. You're going to be just another employee. That's the only way we can prove to you, and it's going to take some time.
Correct.
And at any time, if it's not for you, you can leave, and it's just like another employee that's not a good fit. We're not going to hand you anything. That's not what we've done for any of you, and
Right.
so we're not going to stop that now. And then she's thriving.
That's incredible.
We fight over her actually because she's very creative and I want her in the design end
She's on my
so bad.
She's on my side. She works with me directly, and I love that she's part of my team and that she's part of my everyday.
Right.
So, and then Stephanie and Brandon have 4 daughters. We have 2 daughters and a son. None of our kids are in here now. We've got 2 still in school. And, but I think that they would feel like they are part of the Colorado Floor team because it has been there every day. Like, end of dinner, okay, me and Dad got to go through this stuff about work. Like they just have heard it all their life. I think that they would think it's odd to not be hearing about work at the end of the day because it's just been part of our family dynamic. It's part of our family for sure.
Yeah.
It's part of both of our families. And then when we would get together, with our parents, it's like, okay, well, the kids would just kind of scatter off and go play because we're all talking about work,
Right.
Because it's definitely part of our life.
You eat, sleep, and breathe it.
Really, really.
Well,
So-
and then we had Brandon's dad that worked for us
Yeah.
for
Just up until recently for
yes, he
almost
just
10 years, right?
retired.
Yeah, I think he
and,
was. He was right at 10.
yeah. And that was another thing that was it was wonderful to have him as part of our team.
Right.
When we've surrounded ourselves, and we have with Griff, who was always around for advice and all that stuff, and then you get into your dad, and you have people with wisdom, and you can use them. I mean, that's a huge help. Is the people we've surrounded us with, not just our parents, not just my in-laws. It's our whole team. It's everybody. I mean, we couldn't be prouder of the people that we employ. We got a lot of them, and we're growing. And the things with us teaming up with FS is giving everybody a heck of a lot more opportunity. We keep selling that. We keep telling them about how these are the new trades that we're offering, and all the things that we're doing is really giving them an opportunity. Maybe not just in Denver. It can be wherever FS is going to be at in the country within 10 years. Who knows? That's an open book. So I'd like to think all of that has just made, I don't know, it's given an excitement to our people.
From the FS side, with the umbrella of all of our different brands, all of our different companies, and being able to incorporate another tremendous gallery. So we're sitting in the gallery that's here just outside of Denver. This is the largest gallery that the Colorado Floor Company has right now. And they've got another one down in Colorado Springs, which is a little bit smaller. And then there's future plans planned as well. So kind of talk a little bit about where you are right now and kind of how you plan to expand across the state of Colorado.
Well, we opened up Grand Junction, the facility in Grand Junction, just a month ago. So we're extremely excited about that.
What do you have there right now?
We have a warehouse there
Yeah,
to
we have a
service that
warehouse
whole
now.
western slope area.
Yes. We picked up a couple of accounts in Grand Junction, so we decided to move out there. And it's one of the things that FS has allowed us to do. Like, give us the confidence. They want to grow during this period. I mean, there's a saying you hear within the walls of FS that, we gun it. We step on the gas in the turns. And yes, the market is slow. And yes, there is concern out there, but we're constantly being pressed like, hey, let's grow. How do we grow this? What do we need to do? And Grand Junction was like, hey, we have an opportunity. And they're like, go, get it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And so, and I know that Brandon and Stephanie can talk about in the future about all the things that we're doing on the luxury side of it. But we are going and we're getting aggressive with all the different places that we have. And who knows where we're going to be in 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Talk a little bit about what's happening down in Colorado Springs, where we spent a lot of time yesterday.
Just some opportunities for us to utilize the design center down there with some of the different builders that are now wanting to possibly let their customers come in and make some selections and that kind of thing. A couple of custom builders that we have opportunities with down there that I think is going to be, open a whole new segue as the building continues up in Colorado Springs. We also have a facility in Loveland, and that's another area that we will put another bigger gallery in, not the size of this one, but a little bit bigger than Colorado Springs. And we have another builder that has a space up there that we're already meeting with clients
Very nice.
and making selections. Yeah.
Very, very nice. So something that we're going to do over the next couple of podcasts, you'll see us break into smaller groups and kind of really take deep dives into what the Colorado Floor Company is offering in both the track home semi-custom builder side as well as that high-end custom builder side. We'll get really into the details of the things that we're offering on those sides and the things that you can bring to the track builder side as well, featuring all the different brands that the FS umbrella has under it. So I want to thank you all so much for your time today. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to sit down as a family.
Yes.
To really talk about the family side of your business and everything that the Colorado Floor Company is going to be bringing to the Colorado market, and then the different things that we're going to be doing outside of that. So I thank you all for your time.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being
Of
here.
course, it's been my pleasure. It's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for our next episode. This has been The Finish Out, because it's what we do.